Hello and welcome back to the Data Privacy Lawyer. It's Funmi behind the camera. So I want us to take a look at a cookie banner. I want us to take a look at the process that global organizations should be considering when they're looking at having a cookie banner in place and what types of details a consumer needs to know from a data protection standpoint. Now you might be wondering, why are we talking about data protection and cookies? The reason is because cookies are personal data because they identify an individual. Anytime personal data is being processed on an individual, you have to provide them notice that it's being done. Okay, so we're going to click on this site. Now, the first thing I want us to take a look at is excellent. When you process personal data on an individual, cookies or otherwise, you need to provide them with notice. That's what this is signifying, okay? Here we can see David Yurman uses cookies and other technologies on this site, including to enable and optimize site functionality, analyze site usage, personalize your experience, and target ads as described in the privacy policy, okay? By using this site, you agree to our use of these tools, the privacy policy and terms of use. To manage the cookies, click cookie settings. So right off the bat, right, I'm operating and accessing this site from the United States, and I've been presented with this notice. If I continue to engage with this site, I'm saying I'm okay with this. If I'm not okay with it and I want to manage my cookies, I can do so clicking the cookie setting button. Every website should be having this, because as long as you are using cookies or other technologies that process the personal data of individuals, you need to provide them with notice of some sort. Now, that obligation may change depending on the geography that you provide your goods and services. The reason we're seeing this is because David Yurman has taken a global approach to cookie management, okay? Their obligations, depending on where they offer their goods and services, are different. In the United States, if a business is only providing its goods and services in the United States, this cookie banner doesn't necessarily need to appear, because the rules and laws in the United States say individuals, consumers like myself, need to be presented with the opportunity to opt out of cookies, meaning that a business like David Yurman can actually collect my cookies as I interact with the site, but they have to give me this option to manage my cookies somewhere on the site, okay? In the European Union, it's different. Before an organization can collect any cookies on you, they have to present you with notice and they have to give you the opportunity to opt in. So even though I'm accessing this in the United States, they've taken a global approach because they've allowed me the opportunity to manage my settings, which I'm going to do. Now, here are the cookie preferences. I'm not sure yet which consent management platform is allowing David Yurman to show me this consent management preference center. And some organizations will liaise with a third party to ensure that these cookie settings are presented on their site. So generally, some companies will get into business with another third party and they'll say, hey, third party, I need help with managing cookies for my consumers. Can you help me with 1, the banner, which is this, and 2, with this management preference center? Now, it's still the business's obligation, like David Yurman, to ensure that whatever they've presented on the banner and the preference center is reflected on their cookie notice. That's the business's responsibility. That's not the third party's responsibility. Now, it depends on the relationship that a company has contractually. I don't know what that is. But what I do know is that generally the business is still responsible for what they tell their consumers they're doing. Now, the other really good thing is that David Yurman has presented us with what they consider to be a performance cookie. This description is going to be different depending on the organization. Your business needs to figure out what you consider to be a performance cookie, what you consider to be a targeting cookie, and what you consider to be a functional cookie. This is going to vary, but you do need to present notice to your consumers of what you consider it to be so that you are in compliance with the data protection laws. Now you can see that all of these buttons have been on for me, right? In the European Union, it should not be the case. These should all be off. So if I was accessing this from the European Union, this should be my view, because European Union residents have the opportunity to opt in. The reason these were all green for me is because I'm in the United States and I have the opportunity to opt out, which I just did. Okay. Now, something else that Privacy Counsel can assist you with is we can look at the terminology above here and make sure that this is accurate for your company. Because you're basically telling your consumers, hey, these are the preferences that you have. This is what our website does. That needs to be reviewed for legal accuracy. 1, what is your business truly doing? And 2, compliance with the laws. You can't just put whatever information you want here. You need to make sure that you're looking at all of the geographies that you operate. And we can see here that David Yurman definitely offers its products and services to California residents because it references the CCPA here. So we know for a fact that David Yurman meets the threshold requirements and applicability of the California Consumer Privacy Act. That's why they have given this disclosure here about what California residents have the right to. Okay, if your business is providing services and goods in California and you meet the threshold requirements, you need to make sure that your information and disclosure here adheres to what that law says. And that's why you have Privacy Counsel. Your Privacy Counsel is going to look at all of the geographies where you operate and see whether you meet the thresholds and the applicability, because that's going to influence what you need to say on your site and what you need to present on your site. So I really hope this helps today. Even though we didn't look at the cookie policy, I think it's really important for you to go through what consumers see, because a regulator is going to be looking at that as well. A regulator is going to be looking at what the consumer sees because they want to see that your privacy practices, and this is a practice, right? Your privacy practice aligns with your legal obligations. So if you're looking for Privacy Counsel and you want to know, hey, what should we be doing? Take a look at my description below. I'd love to help your organization, and I'll see you in another cookie notice audit.